February 14, 2026. At the prestigious Sterling Oak University, the annual Sterling Zenith Festival kicks off. For 3 days, it's a neon-soaked dream. Billboard artists on the main stage, thousands of students lost in the music, the bass thrumming through the ground. But while the party raged, a tragedy was unfolding in the shadows of Quincy Hall, the premier international female dormitory. Just 2 days later, on February 16th, as the festival's closing ceremony was about to begin, the music stopped. Maya Rossi, a 20-year-old junior from Rome, was found dead in her dorm room. The vibrant campus atmosphere shifted instantly. News of her death spread like wildfire, and the university administration moved fast, restricting movement, citing security protocols. Suddenly, the students weren't at a festival anymore. They were trapped inside a potential crime scene, feeling isolated and afraid. Grief quickly turned to outrage. Maya's closest friends didn't hesitate. They pointed directly at one person: Asher Sterling Vance, a third-year mechanical engineering student. Asher was campus royalty. He was the son of a prominent U.S. senator and a billionaire real estate mogul, and he lived a life of extreme privilege, one that seemed to make him untouchable. Maya and Asher had been in a volatile relationship that began in 2024. But just a few months before her death, in November, Maya had ended it. We know this from a time-stamped email she sent to her sister. Her words were clear: "I'm finally free of him. He doesn't control me anymore." But it seems that freedom was something Asher couldn't accept. 4 weeks before she died, Maya did everything right. She followed the university's rules. She went to the Office of International Student Affairs and filed a formal harassment complaint against Asher. She detailed a pattern of stalking and intimidation. Sterling Oak University prides itself on being a safe haven for its international students. But in Maya's case, that promise was broken. The director of the office, Dr. Julian Thorne, received a report, yet he failed to initiate a disciplinary hearing. He never issued a protective order. Maya's cry for help was documented, filed, and then ignored. As students began to organize and protest on campus, a critical piece of evidence surfaced that sent shockwaves through the community. Police intercepted Asher Sterling Vance at Logan International Airport. He was about to board a private charter flight. The timing was more than suspicious. Asher had booked that flight at 1:47 p.m. on February 16th. Maya's body wasn't officially discovered until 3 p.m. He had planned his escape over an hour before anyone was supposed to know she was gone. Back at the dorm, witnesses who were there from the beginning claimed the scene of Maya's death suggested a calculated act, not a tragic accident. But the university administration seemed more concerned with managing its public image than finding the truth. Disturbing reports began to emerge that before the state forensics team even arrived, the university's own private security had entered the room and moved Maya's body. Crucial personal items, her encrypted laptop, her journal, and her phone were allegedly taken by university staff. When students demanded to know where this evidence was, they were met with vague responses about ongoing procedures. Transparency was replaced with a wall of silence. The public's perception of Asher darkened even further when a chilling audio recording was leaked. It was 2 minutes and 33 seconds long. This wasn't a simple argument. It was a calculated display of psychological control. Soon after, a second recording surfaced from a former associate of Asher's. It confirmed a history of physical altercations and manipulation, a pattern of behavior that the university had been warned about and had previously ignored. The evidence was painting a damning picture not just of Asher, but of the institution that enabled him. By the evening of February 17th, the campus was a powder keg. The university president, Dr. Alistair Sterling, tried to address a furious crowd in the main auditorium. But his words fell on deaf ears. As the crowd surged forward in chaos, Dr. Sterling fell. The administration immediately seized on this moment. They didn't call for calm. They painted the incident as an organized assault led by international students. They used it to justify what came next. A heavy-handed, shocking response. At 7 a.m. the next morning, February 18th, Sterling Oak University issued an emergency evacuation order, specifically for the international dorms. Private security personnel entered the buildings to enforce it. Students reported being removed from their rooms with excessive force. They described being subjected to discriminatory verbal abuse. in one of the most damning pieces of evidence to emerge. Two senior administrators were recorded making derogatory remarks about the students' nationalities and the financial status of their home countries, comparing them to the university's immense wealth. It was a moment of stunning cruelty and prejudice. Nearly 800 international students were herded onto buses. They were driven off campus and left at various transit hubs in nearby cities. Many had no money, no spare clothes, not even all of their personal belongings. They were abandoned by the very institution that was supposed to protect them. In a twisted act of public relations, the university then released a letter of appeal, trying to frame the situation as if the students had left voluntarily and were now begging to return under a strict new code of conduct. It was a blatant attempt to rewrite history. Facing immense diplomatic pressure, particularly from the Italian embassy, the university scrambled to do damage control. They set up so-called support desks. They released carefully edited apology videos from the staff who had been recorded making the derogatory remarks. They even posted photos on social media of a campus-wide moment of commemorative silence for Maya. But for the students who had been betrayed, these gestures felt hollow, like insincere PR tactics designed to make the problem go away. While a peaceful candlelight vigil was held on the evening of February 18th to honor Maya's memory, some separate groups engaged in property damage nearby. The main body of student protesters was quick to distance themselves from the vandalism. They feared, rightfully, that the administration would use it as another excuse to change the narrative, to shift the focus away from the investigation into Maya's death and onto the supposed unrest of the student body. Today, the students' demands are unified and clear. They demand accountability for the university officials who saw her formal complaint and did nothing. They want legal action against those who authorized the forceful and discriminatory eviction of 800 students. And most importantly, they are calling for the release of all unedited CCTV footage from the dorms, from the campus, from the day Maya died. This case is no longer just about one student. It has become a symbol of a much larger struggle. The fight between immense institutional power and the simple, desperate pursuit of justice. It's about a university that promised a young woman a safe harbor, a place to learn and grow, but instead delivered the ultimate betrayal. The world is now watching Sterling Oak University, waiting to see if justice for Maya Rossi will prevail. Thank you for watching. Please follow for more updates on this developing story.